Controller offline. So if the cloud is reaching out to a controller and can't find it, it is marked offline. This offline distinction is important because it means that we can't reach that controller, so we don't really know what it's doing on the other side. So we try to offer the user this information as often as we can. Like if you're logged into WeatherTRAK.net, you can see this field called controller status that we show in many different scenarios. Like here, we see it on the WeatherTRAK controller list page where we see all of our controllers and which ones are on or offline. Anytime you're using the search features on WeatherTRAK.net, you'll see the controller status accompanying the controller name and serial number. And here's the WeatherTRAK.net Manage Controller page where I check a controller before I go out to a site, and right here at the top we see the controller status. That controller status is also available from WeatherTRAK Mobile. Like here on the controllers page, where we see each controller listed out, we see the controller status as the first icon on that controller's bar. Or if we look at the alerts page, we can see how long a controller has been offline. We can drill into that alert and see the video explaining the offline alert and giving you some good troubleshooting information. And probably most obviously, you'll see that controller offline message on the manual page, and you won't be able to run any stations manually using WeatherTRAK Mobile because the mobile testing functionality requires that cellular signal, requires that connection to send the communication from the app through the cloud to the controller and back again. The offline controller status is unique because when a controller is offline, that means that we've disconnected from the communication and we don't know what that controller is doing out in the field. If you see any of these other controller statuses attributed to your controller, that means your controller is communicating properly. And each controller status indicates what that controller is doing in the field. So, for example, you can tell when a controller is off or manually irrigating because we've connected to that controller and we can report on its controller status. If a controller is offline, that means the cloud connection to the controller has been interrupted, and so we don't know what that controller is doing out in the field.